like almost in a row. It seems
Like at his apartment complex. So
probably some
he
lady that
pissed
didn't want
somebody
him to
off.
drive by her anymore.
Pissed somebody off in the laundromat.
Alright.
Oh, are we live? Oops.
I just no,
Perfect.
it wasn't on there.
Oh shit! I should delete all that. Too late.
Alright, ready?
Yep.
Welcome to Middles Open, brought to you by the new Doug Risher. Doug, how are you?
I am doing fantastic on this snowy day.
The sweeter, better smelling Doug Risher, and we're here with Lou Willard, our good buddy, and I'm just gonna say, Grove City legend.
Oh.
Like, I'm not the only Grove City legend on this show. I am still wearing the championship sweatshirt. This will
Notice
not
that.
go away. But Lou doesn't have a sweatshirt, but he was still a legend, right?
Yep,
It's fair to say.
Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
It's you and, like, nobody.
So when did you play for Grove City? What year was that?
Listen, you don't understand. I don't just bring nobodies on here. We had Roy Hall. Roy Hall is second to Lou because Lou was the man, and he will even tell you that against Kajana Carter. That happened. I was there.
You saw it.
No, I was talking to some girl the entire time, but I heard the touchdown bell going off. They were ringing that bell every time Lou was scoring. So Lou,
That
great
was
to
a
have you
fun
back.
game, though.
On and off the
That was a
field
fun
too, right?
Listen, Lou.
The bell just rang nonstop.
See,
back then.
now you just brought up all the glory days that Lou doesn't have anymore as he's getting older. Now, I do want to continue bashing Lou because, Lou, I believe that we sat here last week to talk about NFL playoffs, and I barely harassed you about it on Facebook or anything, that the Chargers didn't really pull it out last week against the Patriots.
No, that was my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah.
So I was sticking with them. And you talk about going down with the ship. I went down kicking and screaming.
You did, and there was a point in the second quarter where I think you were kind of defending, like, do you have some football to play? And I was like,
I was
"Not-
hanging
not-
in there, man.
Not for the Chargers. And Doug, I get a text from Doug, are you seeing this? I felt like he was whispering it, like you were right by me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing
You
all
got to
this.
make sure you get my number because
Yeah.
you can text me. Because trust me, I'm on a group text with two of my good friends, and one of them is a diehard. He's from there, so he's a diehard Patriot fan. So trust me, the text thread blows up.
Yes, I was at Roosters watching it, and I'm like, this is not how it was supposed to shake down, according to Lou and Mike. But and I was just like, are
Hold
you
up,
watching
did you
this?
say me?
Yeah,
I
didn't you
said,
pick the
I
Chargers?
said,
You picked
no.
the Patriots?
I picked the Patriots, and I said running away. And I was
Oh.
concerned when there was that little coverage breakdown, and then the Chargers scored, and I was like, oh, man. And then it was 35 points later. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
They were firing on all pistons that day.
I'll tell you how entrenched I was in my pick. I'm texting my buddies when the Chargers scored the 14th point. I'm like, hey, listen, if they get this 2-point conversion, it's only a 4-score game. It's like 10 minutes left in the game. I was still talking to him. It's a 4-score game.
All I'm doing is
Oh, it
scrolling
was a
Facebook
it was
looking
terrible.
for him. I'm just looking for what he's saying because he's trying to defend it like Phillip Rivers knows he picked him.
I mean, you would think I was getting a check from him. I mean, I was in it, and I'll stand by it. You know, hey, win some, lose some.
So, but Doug, you had to feel good because I'm sure you were 9 cups into your sodas there at Roosters. And
Yes,
probably watching
I
this
drank
game.
a beer for every touchdown.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It's a long one.
I was very happy. Obviously, they got to play the Chiefs this week, which is going to be, I think, a little tougher in very cold weather. But, I was very happy that my pick was accurate.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs basically played Westland's JV football team. I don't know how the Colts even scored 13 points, but I think that was a foregone conclusion. I could not believe people were thinking the Colts. And again, Lou said this on the show and also said it when we were talking when we were leaving. The Colts are really one offensive player away, one other weapon.
Right.
But they really looked hamstrung, kind of like the Chargers. If Melvin Gordon's not running the ball very well, you're a one-dimensional team. I don't care how good your defense is. You can't put up enough points.
The Chargers took their own defense out of it by playing a zone. I mean, I know that's typically what they do, but have they not learned from Tom Brady beating up on the Pittsburgh Steelers for years, trying to play a zone that you can't play a zone and beat him?
Well, let me ask this question because I know a lot of people will say that, but if they didn't do that, what should they have done? Because they weren't really getting to him. I mean, he was cleaning the pocket the whole time.
Well, they weren't getting to him because they weren't blitzing. Go man-to-man and blitz, they say Patriots beat man-to-man. They used to with better personnel. The personnel they have isn't that great. They just play really good together as a team, and they have guys that don't like to lose.
They won't beat you deep.
They won't.
They'll
They're not
beat you
going to
on
run by
possession
you.
routes, but they're not going to beat you deep.
Yes, and they never even tried. I'm like, at least give yourself a chance, and it was bad. But talk about that Chiefs game. I thought everybody just got caught up too much into the Colts, but the Colts played the Texas team that can't score.
Right.
And, they're talking about, well, the Chiefs can't create or the Colts can't create separation. I said, because they're running with T.Y. Hilton and 3 tight ends.
Right.
Who are your tight ends going to run away from? They're not going to run away from the defensive backs.
I feel like that's the way that the playoffs are. Like, if you look 10, 20 years ago, it was you had to have a solid running game to set up. You'd have 1 or 2 fast guys on the outside and then a reliable tight end. I see too many people that have, they got a big back, big tight end, and then they have this heavy option. The Bears do this a lot. It is like they bring in every big guy they can for 3 yards at a time. They're not really trying to score. They're just trying to possess the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Run that clock down.
And in the Bears' case, they're still not fully trusting Trubisky. I mean, he's still young, though. I don't think you'll see that as much going forward. Now, this will be, his 3rd year coming up next year? I don't think you'll see that a lot. But, like, for everybody saying this is a passing game and it's spread it out and do this, that, and the other, all 4 of these teams still playing run the football very well.
What do you think of the Eagles game?
I thought it was a really good game. I think it took the Saints a minute, obviously, to get going. But I think if they would have kept playing, I think the Saints would have eventually got further away from them. Even though the Eagles had the ball going down to win it, and he just dropped the ball.
I've never seen a ball deflected that way, that it deflected 5 yards towards the safety. And I was
right through his hands.
I was at the Blue Jackets game, and I just happened to turn around and see and I thought they were showing something from the first half. I didn't realize that was the end of it. But I'm glad that guy isn't in Chicago anymore. He wanted all that money. You can be in Philadelphia and drop all the balls you like. Alshon Jeffrey. I thought that was the best game of the weekend, though. Obviously.
It was. What was ironic about that? Like I said, my son's a diehard Eagle fan, and he listens to this, and
so he's at home or something.
And he knew I picked the Saints, and boy, my phone was going off early. I said, it's a lot of game left because, I got to stay by my picks. But I'm thinking, boy, if the Eagles score the next point, I don't care if it's a safety or a field goal, this game is over because it's going to be 17-0.
I really thought that the Eagles, it was an odd start. That first pass is picked off, and I thought, wow, all this momentum is going Philly's way. But again, I missed a lot of it because we were in transit to go see the Rangers lose 7-5. Notice I didn't say the Blue Jackets. We went to see the Rangers. When we got, listen, I had to have Jeff Wiseman and Pete from the zoo every time that the Blue Jackets scored turn around because they can't go any other seat and like eyeball me and mouth off to me, and I'm like, we're gonna be fine. And when it was like 7-4, my dad and I were like, we're getting the hell out of here. I'm not sitting through this. But I digress. And then let's talk about the greatest thing everybody wants to talk about: the Cowboys lose. I didn't say that the Rams won. I said the Cowboys lose, and everybody's happy about that.
I was okay with that. I mean, obviously, I root for Zeke because obviously, coming back from OSU. But I thought that was a pretty interesting game. I thought it would be a little closer, but I was wrong. I picked the Cowboys, but I think I was
marked
just
that down, Doug. I put Doug was wrong.
I know that doesn't happen often, but
I didn't even put the game. I just put
wrong.
Doug was wrong.
He didn't even write down my pick. He just wrote Doug was wrong.
I barely wrote your name down. I just said was wrong.
That's my new nickname. Was wrong. Okay.
But
you guys both picked. Did you both pick the Rams?
I picked the Rams.
Yeah, we picked the Rams.
But I picked the Rams for a totally different reason. I didn't realize that a guy that was a cast-off from 2 other teams was going to, rush for 3 touchdowns and get 140 yards. I didn't see that coming at all.
Well, no, he was looking good, man.
Yeah, from the Rams standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, all they did was make Dak Prescott beat them.
Right.
They just took Zeke completely out of the game. He had 20 carries, 47 yards. And they said, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us with a quarterback that we don't even feel like you guys believe in that much because you haven't paid him yet. Now you got to pay him. But they put the ball in his hands, and he just couldn't come through because the game wasn't that close. And the Rams did what they should have did that night. Chicago beat them. They actually ran the ball. They went to cold Chicago that night and threw 60 times.
That was the greatest thing I ever saw. I could not believe it. I'm like, this isn't working. Keep doing it.
And they just kept doing it. But so then they come out and play the other night like they should have played against the Bears that Sunday night. And they ran the ball, which opened up the passing for them. And they had a great game plan. So I don't know where that was. Maybe they just shut it down because they won their division so early. They won the division in like week 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think they weren't trying to get hurt.
And I think they just shut it down. And Gurley's hurt. Gurley's still banged up because he's just not getting carries. But he only has 16, but still went over 100 yards. They just ran the ball. They ran the ball down Dallas's throat, and that was Dallas's strong point.
Would you pay Dak Prescott top 5, top 10 quarterback money?
Absolutely not. With that being said, who do you go get? That's the
Foles.
problem.
Yeah, I have
I
no
go get
idea.
Nick Foles and pay him $9 million and win 4 or 5 Super Bowls in a
$9
row.
million.
That guy's on a roll.
You paying him $9 million a week?
I mean, whatever
'Cause
he
that's what
wants.
it's gonna
Nick
be.
Foles has lost one game in the last 2 years. I'm taking that guy all the way.
But I'm telling you, with Dak winning a division and a playoff game, you know Jerry gonna give him 27
Look,
27
have
million.
you
You know
seen
he's
the
gonna do
teams
it.
in that
9
division?
million.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. But you know what Jerry Jones is gonna do.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying the Redskins won 5 or 6 games. Terrible. They got the Eagles in there. The Giants lost negative 30 games. That's the worst team in football, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're bad right now.
So you're just cleaning up against these lesser teams, and then the Eagles make the playoffs at 9-7. Like
Yeah.
it's not a real strong division, but I get what you're saying. Who you're going to get, but you're going to give that guy big money to the point where you're going to criticize him for the rest of his career. He's got to pay off because he's going to get
Yeah.
18 to $20 million as a franchise guy.
He's getting more than 20, and he's getting more than 22, and he's getting more than 24.
How you going to pay Zeke and Dak Prescott?
1 week at a time.
What's
They
Zeke
will
getting?
figure it out. Well, they're both still on the rookie
Okay,
deals.
so they're waiting. Okay,
They're waiting, and Zeke is just not even arguable. He's a top 3 back in the league.
Right.
Now you pick 1 through 3, but at the end of the day, he's going to want 14. Your quarterback now, they shouldn't, but the NFL mindset is, well, who are we going to go get? If he can just get us here, every coach thinks they can get him over the top,
Right.
so they'll give him all of that money. But I don't know. I didn't think he was. I don't think he's that good. But
I don't either. I don't
You
think
don't
the
think
guy.
he has room for improvement? Like you don't think he's going to start falling into place?
Dallas is an organization that wants to win Super Bowls, and I don't think he can take them to the Super Bowl.
The thing I find hard is that the higher level you go, you got there based on your natural ability and whatever coaching got you there. They're so afraid to overcoach you, like a Cam Newton situation.
Right.
Yep.
When Ron Rivera goes there, don't run anymore. So then you have to make him a pocket passer. If he's going to sit there and he's going to take hits from weak side blitzes and all that, if he's going to sit there, you're taking away one of the best parts of his game. Now he's talking about sitting out next year because of the shoulder
Yeah,
issue.
they're saying he may miss next year.
But that's all. It's not from running. That's from sitting in the pocket constantly. So the
Right.
guy's going to be 33, 34. His best years are behind him, but he's still making big money.
Yeah,
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Sitting
mean,
on the sidelines making the money.
It's that big quarterback money, and the thing is, if you look at the quarterbacks playing this weekend, Brady, the GOAT, Hall of Famer, Breeze, Hall of Famer. Then you got the young guns. Golf is consistent, will get better. Mahomes is just ridiculous, so he's got the level off.
and
If
he has
he
the
keep,
best puppet voice I've ever heard.
but he's catch up on everything. Everybody's got a down.
They're
down
young.
for him.
They're
Yeah.
young.
But also look at the coaches. You got the greatest coach to ever be in the game of Belichick.
You got Reed.
You got Reed, who doesn't have a great playoff record, but he's a hell of a coach.
Right.
And then you're dealing with Sean Payton, who has a ring. And then you got the young guy again over in the Rams. So the Rams are the outlier, but they have a lot of talent. They belong right where they're at.
Now, speaking of the Rams, like you brought up earlier that Gurley's still kind of not 100%. What do you think he's going to be this weekend?
I think they're going to try to go.
or what?
I think they're going to try to go with the same type of game plan against the Saints because they're going to have to. Because if you just think you're going to drop back and keep throwing it against them, that pass rush is going to get you like Chicago got them. That's why I thought if the Bears could have beat the Eagles, I thought the Bears could go to the Saints and beat them because of their defense and their pass rush. So I think they're going to try to run the ball. Number one, to control the clock and keep Breeze sitting over there on that sideline.
Right.
Because once he gets hot, this whole thing is over.
I obviously Gurley's a weapon for the Rams.
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't utilize him last game, but
Well, he's got that knee issue that, I think he's good for 16 to 20 carries maybe.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you're going to use it up this weekend, what do you have?
for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing is you do get a week between, you get a bye between the Super Bowl and but still, he can't pound it that 30-something times. Like, if they didn't go get C.J. Anderson, who came out there looking like Jerome Bettis,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, physically looking like him, and then he ran the ball well, too.
Yeah.
But if they didn't get him, that would have been on Gurley to pound that ball 30-something times. He wouldn't have been no good this week.
Right.
No, that's very true.
So they had to spell him because he's hurt. I guarantee you he has some type of arthroscopic surgery when the year is over, but they keep saying he's not hurt.
They don't want anybody to know about it.
I'm like, okay.
Well, I always think that's weird. He's not hurt, but he's not going to practice. He'll be in the game, but he's going to be limited.
Yeah, and,
well,
and
why are you not?
Yeah, well, what's the reason behind
and
that?
don't
He's
worry
not
about
hurt.
the brace on his knee. He's not hurt.
Yeah, right.
The fact that he's limping or
And
he's
it's
in a wheelchair.
being iced down. Right.
What I want to do is I want to cut the break because we recapped last weekend, but I want to do the same thing we did last week where we're picking who you got and why, because I always think that's strong, and I always like to hear Lou's opinion so that on Facebook when he's not doing so well.
I was giving him crap on Facebook.
We just want to check in.
awesome.
We just want to check in.
That's awesome.
We'll be back in a minute. We are listening to Middles Open, and we'll see you in a second. All right. So then we'll go into recap. 15, 12.
Something like that.
All right. So you want to pick NFC first since the AFC is probably more fun?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll just start with
that's
the first game of the day anyways, right?
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
that is the order of the games, NFC first.
That has to be on purpose. Because they know everybody wants this. That's kind of like when the Lakers were great, and you're like, I don't care if they're playing Denver. I want to see them lose. Most of the audience going to want to see them lose. All right. I'll bring us back. Ready? 3, 2. Welcome back to Middles Open. Still talking NFL playoffs this upcoming weekend. AFC and NFC championship games. Still with Doug, still with Lou. And I'm going to start with Doug.
Well, not this upcoming weekend. Today.
Sorry, today.
Later
Excuse
today.
Me. Excuse me. We're talking Rams, Saints, and then Patriots, Chiefs. We're going to tackle Rams, Saints because there's probably 3 people in the world of Columbus that care about either one of those teams. However, it's still going to be a good game.
Right. And both games are rematches from earlier in the season. So,
what's the dude's name? Peters? The guy that was a former Kansas City Chief.
Oh, Marcus Peters.
When the Saints were running up the score, he said, okay, we'll wait for the rematch. I cleaned it up a little bit from what he said because there was a lot of adult words.
Right.
But that's the only reason I think this could be really hotly contested.
Yeah.
And I think it should be high scoring. I'll be disappointed if it's not.
You know, the Rams versus the Saints. I mean, the Saints obviously beat the Rams back in Week 9. And I would love to see the Saints win. I like Drew Brees. I'm rooting for the older guys this time around. Obviously, Brady being older, Brees. I would love to see Saints, Patriots in the Super Bowl. I think it's the Rams secondary versus Drew Brees in this football game on later today, I should say. But I don't really care that much about this one. Obviously, it's being a Pats fan, but if I have to choose between the two teams, I'm going with the Saints on this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good game for sure. Like you said, the Rams went out and got all these big names on defense. They showed up against the Cowboys. And Ndamukong Suh had a good game.
Well, he was rested for 17 weeks.
He was
didn't
rested.
do anything all year.
He took a season off and then played one good game. But the Saints' offensive line is going to have to hold up.
Right.
Because they're back in. Nobody's going to guard Michael Thomas. Let's just be honest. No one's been able to guard him yet this year. It won't change today. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm like you. I would love to see Breeze. Well, first off, I had him at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to ride him out. But I would love to see Breeze go to another Super Bowl.
Kiss of death right there.
Yep.
Lou's like, it's the Saints.
I picked him at the beginning.
I'm hanging in there with him.
But, I think the Rams need to quiet the game down with their run game, keep Drew, on the sidelines, and just pound it out.
Yeah, you
it out
won't,
if they want to have a chance of winning.
Yeah, you won't hear 2 louder venues in the NFL than these 2 stadiums when they go off here later.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, so you're going to take the Saints?
I'm taking the Saints, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints.
I'm going to take the Rams. Patriots, Chiefs. I'm going to let Doug go because this is his chance to talk about the people he loves the most.
I'm real excited about this game. It's going to be a hell of a game for the Patriots, and Brady has not been too good on the road in the playoffs. He's 2 for 6, and both of those wins that he had in the playoffs were kind of gimmies. And the Chiefs are going to bring it, and it's going to be cold though. So I think with the temperature, I think the Patriots have a little bit of advantage with that, as long as there's no wind. But I mean, obviously the Chiefs play in cold weather as well, but the Patriots I think playing a little bit more. But being at Arrowhead, I think the Chiefs have a little bit of advantage. But I'm still going with the Patriots because I grew up in New England. I'm going to stick to it.
That's your squad.
And this is this their 8th year in a row going?
We all know, man.
And I get it. I get all the hate for the
If
Patriots.
the Steelers were in the wild card, Lou would still be talking about the wild card game from weeks ago.
I get all the hate for the Patriots. People are tired of seeing them, but there's something that they're doing right. Obviously, obviously with Brady and Belichick, they've got something figured out. And when they get to the playoffs, they always seem to do really well, and I got to stand behind it. So I would love to see Brady get another ring. Love to see
that would just ruin my weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd love to see the two old quarterbacks going at it. I mean, what is Drew, late 30s?
He's 40.
Yeah, he's 40.
Is
He
he
just
40?
turned 40.
Okay, so yeah,
Just
and
turned 40.
Brady's 41, I think.
Yep.
So I'd love to see that game go down. I'm taking the Patriots this weekend or today, and I think it's going to be a fight, though.
It will be a really good game. You got the older guys going against the younger guys. I mean, the Chiefs have a young team. The Pats have an older team.
Right.
The Pats got the old. Well, they both have. Well, the old quarterback, young quarterback.
Experience versus
Yeah,
age.
I mean, you got the guys that everybody, including myself, keep trying to push out with the new guys everybody's trying to usher in. I'm taking the Chiefs, as everybody listening to the show knows, simply because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I absolutely refuse to pick the Patriots.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Chiefs.
Your name's going to be Zero Willard, as in 0 for 2 after this weekend.
It very well could be, and I'll take it.
I'm also going to take the Patriots because I just believe in that Patriots system more than I believe. When I think of Andy Reid getting it done in the clutch, this is not going to be a 13-10 game. I think this is going to be a 28 to 24 game. If I got to bet on somebody, I'm betting on Brady. Not that I don't think Mahomes is great, but we've seen people put up video game numbers like.
Well, it was 43-40, I think.
43-40 first time.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
I don't think either one of these defenses are great. I think
Right.
that the Chiefs' defense is fast. They can cause turnovers, but I also think they're a little bit more undisciplined. They don't really stay in their lanes. They're kind of chasing the ball down. I think you see a lot of mistakes. I think the Patriots' defense is just put together by tape. So if it's coming down together between the two,
By tape.
well, I'm just saying, when you're talking about their defensive backs, name one.
Right. No, I get what you're saying
They're
because
the ones that gave it away.
But I think Brady always seems he fires that ball so fast. He doesn't stay out there very long. He's got like a 1.5 second like timer in his head, and he's shooting it off. But these Chiefs, obviously being younger, are going to be all over the place. I just think I got to go with the Patriots. They've had so much experience at this level, and with Belichick, he's like a mastermind when it comes to this stuff. And like you said, Andy Reid doesn't have the best record.
I'll tell you, that was a smart pick. I just can't bring myself to do it.
That's all right.
It's just,
you don't have to defend it. But I do want to ask.
bring myself to
He's
do
crying right now. You guys can't see
I mean,
it.
I'm trying to figure out a way that I can tell you the Chiefs are going to win the game.
I feel like if the Patriots were themselves playing a scrimmage in the Super Bowl, Lou would still pick the Chiefs. He just won't let it go.
I would kind of pick a tie in that
Right,
situation.
it's a tie.
Just end in a tie.
Well,
but they're talking about the temperature of this game, like being a high of 8 degrees, could drop
with
below
the wind
0
chill and everything.
Well, that favors offenses.
Yeah.
They know where they're going. The field, they have heaters under the field, but the field's going to be hard. Ball's going to be rock hard. That's going to give the Patriots an advantage with Brady. But I can tell you right now, and I'll call both of you guys, if the first play the Chiefs drop back in there in the zone, I'm going to just turn it. I'm just turning the game.
Turn it off.
Turn it off because it's over.
But it goes back to the same thing. The NFL, people, there's so much game tape. I mean, you can watch NFL Network, and they're breaking down the tape. If I was a coach, I'd just watch TV because you're doing all my work for me.
Yeah, all the homework's done for you.
But why do they continually do the same thing? We talked about this, I think, last week.
don't
Why
understand.
are you blowing somebody out and in the fourth quarter? You're playing cover 2, you're playing deep, so you don't get beat deep, and then you give up points. I don't know if somebody's got money on the game. But it always seems to me that the Colts should have scored 7 points. Let's be honest last week. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to get to this point, does Andy Reid or their defensive coordinator say, let's let him complete all this stuff in the middle. We'll just keep him, between the 20 and the end zone.
It will just tackle really well. But I can tell you exactly why they don't. Because in order to become an NFL coach or a coach at a college level, even, you have to have an ego. And their ego is, well, their zone can't stop them because I'm a better defensive coordinator than him, but our zone will. And I'm telling you right now, you won't stop Brady with a zone. No one has. I mean, the first team that does it will be the next team does will be the first team. Nobody's stopping that zone. And it's going to be a good game. And if I was putting money on the game, I'd be taking the Patriots. But since we're just talking radio, I got a feeling they're going to lose.
All right, so I'm going to go Patriots. Doug obviously going
Patriots.
Chiefs because he's a huge Chiefs fan. And then Lou
Just went off his rocker.
And there's a woman here that works with us at the station. She's a diehard Chiefs fan. So another reason I want the Patriots to win, so I don't have to hear her for 2 weeks talk about the Chiefs winning. So she already got her pennant coming in. Should be in her yard that
her
day.
participation trophy.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though, either way, whoever wins these games, it's going to be a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
I am
Yeah, it's gonna
hoping
be
that
good.
it is two high-scoring teams because, you know,
Fun.
as a kid growing up in the 90s, it was one high-scoring team got there, and it's like, you know, I remember thinking the Chargers, that was such a great story, and then they get blown out 55-10, and it's like, they're doing, like...
Who was that against?
49ers.
Right. I remember back when it was Dallas. I can't remember who they were playing, and it was just ridiculous. The Dallas just destroyed them.
Oh,
was
they
Buffalo.
They blew
Was
out
it?
Buffalo 2 years in a row.
I had never seen...
And it's kind of boring. I mean, it's fun to watch, but at the same time, I feel bad for the other team, and then I want to see a competitive game.
I'm only tuning in for Maroon 5. I mean,
Oh,
the
of
game is
course.
going to be, like, inconsequential.
I might be the only guy that doesn't know a Maroon 5 song.
Listen, stay that way. Don't change that.
Oh, don't worry.
Travis Scott will be
Travis
there,
Scott,
whoever
yeah.
that is.
He's a rapper.
They're trying
I
to
know
get
that.
Common
I
is
actually looked
telling
him up
him not
yesterday.
to go there. Don't sing at the halftime.
Right.
But he'll do Old Navy commercials. I don't really understand. And my over-under is that Travis Scott will be there. That's going to be it, unless you guys have any parting shots for the week.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. It should be a good. I'm going to go to Roosters to watch the game again. Part of it, at least,
We'll
because
wake
they
you up
won
around
while I was there.
midnight.
So I'm going to stick with superstition and do the same thing I did last week.
Well, then superstition should help you because I'm picking against them again, so you should
Yep,
be good.
Yep.
And I hope that Lou has a big body pillow that he can cuddle when he's 0-2, and then
No, I have an 11-pound little white fluffy dog that I'll just sit there and look at and go, got me again.
Well, I can't wait. And then we are definitely going to recap Lou's picks next week. You're listening to Middles Open, and we will see you next time.